So you want to know how to make a platform move like this in Unity? Then stay tuned to the end of the video. Starting with our video, you can see that I have a platform here that currently doesn't move at all. So we want to know how to make it move from one point to another. As you can see, I ran the game and there is no movement at all. So closing off our build, I'm going to go and add first off a rigid body 2D, and I'm going to freeze the rotation and freeze the position on the y-axis, as well as set the gravity and the drag to 0. And I'm also going to add a box collider 2D, and I'm going to just edit the collider a little bit, just like this and just like that. Okay, that's great. Now I need to make two empty game objects. First off, I'm going to add a gizmo, and add a gizmo just like this. It's currently behind the camera so I can see it. I just modified the axis, the Z position, and I'm going to add a circle collider 2D and put it as is trigger. Just doing the editing on the collider, and going to the other game object, I'm going to rename it to waypoint 2, as well as move it further in the camera and add the circle collider just like we did before. Okay, we are fine. Now we need to add tags to those. First off, we are going to add waypoint 2 to the waypoint 2 tag. Actually the opposite, the waypoint 1 to the waypoint 1 object, and we are going to put this one at, let's say, -8, and this one, let's say, at 7. Okay, that looks fine. Okay, so we now want to move this platform between those 2 points. We are going to open the moving platform script, and we're going to start. First off, I'm going to serialize a field. It's a transform, and I'm going to call it waypoint 1. And I'm going to duplicate those, just like this, and call it waypoint 2. I'm also going to serialize another field, and I'm going to call it the platform speed. And I serialize this so we can access it through the editor to put the desired speed. And I'm also going to make another int. It's called the waiting time. So this is basically the time that I want the platform to wait at one of the points before it goes to the other point. And now finally I have a vector 2 called target. So this will be our target. First off, in the start method, I want to say that the target is equal to waypoint2.position. So at the start, I want the platform to go to the waypoint2.position. I'm also going to add a fixed update, and in the fixed update, I'm going to say that the transform.position, so the transform of the platform, is equal to vector2.move towards. So what is move towards? Basically, it moves a point to another point. So from a current point to a target point with a certain speed. So I'm going to move my transform.position to the target position with the platform speed times time.fixed delta time. So it becomes more easy to move this in the physics kind of changing behavior, right? So I'm going to now check for void on trigger, enter 2D, and I'm going to simply say if the collision.game.compare tag is equal to waypoint 1, I'm going to do something. What is I'm going to do? I'm going to start a coroutine. So what are coroutines? Coroutine is basically a method, but we can delay its activation by a certain function called wait for seconds. Okay, so this basically what are we going to use it for. So I'm going to duplicate this just like this, change the moving the waypoint to 2, and I'm going to change it to moving left. So when I collide with waypoint 1, I want to move it to the right, and when I collide with waypoint 2, I want to move it to the left. So I'm going now to set the coroutines. Basically moving right is I'm going to put yield return new wait 4 seconds, and I'm going to pass my waiting time. After that, I'm going to basically put the target as waypoint. Which waypoint? So I want to move right, so I'm going to the waypoint 2. So waypoint 2 dot position, and I'm going to again duplicate this just like this, and I'm going to say moving left going to the waypoint 1 dot position. So this is basically it, as simple as that. We finally have done that. So there is another addition to this code that can fix a certain function, but I'm going to show you first what is the error that we are going to get. So I'm going to set now the waypoint 1 to waypoint 1 and waypoint 2. The platform speed is 3 and the waiting time, let's say 1. So you can set this as 1, 2, 3 or whatever you want. And I'm going to start the game. So starting our game, I basically had an error before. You can see that the moving platform is moving correctly between both the points, the waypoints, but I had the layer set to ground, which isn't right. It was basically from an older test. It should be put to default, and you should be by default your waypoint, when you create the waypoint in the first time, it should be put to default. So basically you are going to find that the moving platform is moving correctly with you the first time you try it. So here it is, we have our moving platform. So what about that error that I talked about? Basically I'm going to go and try to jump on the platform. I missed. Okay, we are waiting for the platform to come, and now you can see that I'm not actually sticking to the platform. So how can we fix that? It's basically simple. First off, I'm going to set the moving platform for a tag called moving platform, and I'm going to go to the hero script, and I'm going to say void on collision enter 2D. I'm going to check if the collision dot game object dot compare tag is basically the moving platform or not. And if it is the moving platform, I'm going to set the game object dot transform dot parent is equal to collision dot game object dot transform. So what does that mean? That simply means that I set this game object, the player game object, as a child for the moving platform. I got sorry for that. Basically it stopped responding for a second. Dot transform, and that's basically it. And now when we move out from the moving platform, it should go back to normal. So I just going to duplicate this. I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to say here that the transform.parent is equal to null. And that's basically it. This is going to make my player stick to the platform. And now we are going to go to our editor to check. I'm just waiting for it to compile, and we are going to be fine. Come on, dude. Okay, I'm going to start the game. It's still compiling. What the hell is going on? Okay, it's fine now. And I'm going to test one more time. And you can see that I am attached to the moving platform. So this is our this is the end of our video today. If you found this video informative, then please hit the like and subscribe button for more videos like this one. Cheers and good night.